Welcome to the Concerned Parents of Young Athletes podcast, where we dismantle the confusion and provide the facts on structural management, a system designed to prevent injuries, understand the unique structures of every young athlete, and provide effective treatments all based on structure, science, and common sense. Episode 5, the Structural Fingerprint Exam. Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Maggs. Let's get started. 30 years ago, I had the distinct opportunity to work in the strength department of the New York Giants, and I worked there for 4 years under Coach Al Miller. And I was shocked because it gave me the front row seat view of how they handle injuries. Players would come in and complain of back pain, and they would send them down the hall to the physical therapist or to the chiropractor. Now, I didn't know enough at the time, but I knew that if I took x-rays on each player, I could see information that might be useful. Well, that started my structural management program. That started the structural fingerprint exam. And immediately I started compiling tests that could be done architecturally, not just symptomatically. So my goal was to be able to do an exam on a 12-year-old athlete who had never been injured and to be able to reasonably predict where the likelihood of injury was and what steps we could take to put that athlete in a safer position. So now here we are 32 years later, tens of thousands of exams done. We've perfected it, and the structural fingerprint exam is the gold standard in the country, not just for youth athletes, but for all people. But we want to make it relevant to our Concerned Parents of Young Athletes program. So we have done thousands and thousands of exams on this age group, and I don't believe there's anyone in the world who has a better understanding of the biomechanics of middle and high school athletes to the level that I do. And what I've done is I've tried to break it down. The public does not have to have a PhD in biomechanics to get the end result, which is a safer lifetime for our kids. And so again, let's remind you of what is important. Actuary Alex, and it's Actuary Alex because number one, every child has biomechanical faults. And number two, as an actuary would do, there is a price tag attached to every child in this country, especially those who play sport. And that price tag at the end of their lifetime is going to include all of the costs that were spent on this young athlete because nothing was done to identify or to help balance their structure. And the cost is going to be an enormous cost, one that society will not be able to pay. And it starts with sports injuries, and it migrates into surgical injuries like disc injuries or meniscus, migrates into pharmaceuticals because of the amount of inflammation in the body, disabilities because of the wearing down of different joints in the body. It migrates into joint replacements because one hip will wear out or one knee will wear out. Hasn't anyone ever asked why does one knee wear out when the two knees have probably lived a very similar life? And this is the reason why, because of Actuary Alex. So our goal is to reduce the cost of each child in this country and allow them to have the most fun that they can have without being on the sidelines. And remember this too. I have coined the phrase that when an athlete is injured, the family is injured because the family feels the disappointment and the pain equal, if not more, than what the young athlete feels. So we have 5 distinctly different, unique biomechanical faults. Every human is one of these. Our exam will identify which one an individual is, and we know from a corrective point of view what needs to be done. It's a 16-point evaluation. It looks at the feet, the knees, the hips, the pelvis, and the spine. There are 4 structural x-rays done in the standing position, and components of the exam need to be done annually. Not the entire exam, not x-rays every year, by no means, but components of the exam need to be done annually, and we need to document this information because there's lifetime benefits from having all of these structural evaluations documented. And that this is something that we need to start to train doctors to provide. We need to start getting insurance companies to pay for them, because that is the barrier that'll keep people from getting them. And the structural fingerprint exam is the only comprehensive biomechanical exam out there. It's been out there for 30 years. We've got massive data. We have research papers, published peer-reviewed research papers on the examination. So it's time that we now bridge the gap between young athletes and getting one of these two tests done on them annually, because that's going to be the very reason that we can start cutting down on all of these injuries. So thank you for joining me. Be well. Please share this with any family you know who has middle or high school athletes in their household, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.